Greetings, fam. It's Holly Hood, and I'm coming to you live from my hood. And if you're wondering why I'm doing bubbles in the background, it's because I come to you today to talk about the bubbly, so I figured I'd have bubbles that's appropriate for the bubbly. And what bubbly am I talking about? Well, it seems the grand pimp, Jay-Z, who's always pimping something. When do you have enough money, bro? That's my question to you. I haven't seen you in a minute. So whenever I catch up with you, I want to ask you, when do you have enough? Because now he's promoting champagne that's going to cost you Lost Tribe Negroes $850 per bottle. This is his new champagne. That it's not actually new. He's owned the company. He bought it back in 2014. I'm going to tell you all about it in the video. But this is the latest rendition of this Ace of Spades champagne, and it's going to be limited edition. So you better book yours now. Pre-order. That's what they're saying, because it's only going to be 2,500 bottles, and they're going for $850 a pop. So I want to talk about champagne and hip hop and bowling, because this seems to be everyone's goal. And I'm going to just show you the idiocy of it all, and then I'm going to tell you what the word has to say about it. So stay tuned. Again, this is Holly Hood, and I want to know what's really good. God bless. Thanks for tuning in. Ova has been the owner of Armand de Brignac since 2014. And he released his first Blanc de Noirs, which is the Ace of Spades 1, the following year. Surprisingly well received. This $760 bottle was named after the world's #1 Blanc de Noirs in Fine Champagne's blind taste tests. Now, I want to tell you something about these wine tastings. They're all rigged. So all of these champagne magazines that tell you, oh, buy this, it's the greatest. These people are paid to lie like hell. So if you go on their judgment, chances are somebody paid them under the table to tell you to buy that wine, and it's probably not even the best wine. Not only that, wine is wine is wine. If you go to France, you see these people, they're in their bare feet stepping on grapes. I think they've upgraded the method now, so probably it's not actual feet. But the point is, there's only so many ways you can make champagne. What makes it more valuable is the fermentation. The longer you keep it, then it supposedly becomes stronger. So if you want to pass out, then you want to get something that's been around for 10 or 20 years or longer. Okay, obviously the ones that's been around for several hundred years are the real, for lack of a better word, kick-ass champagnes. Okay. Jigga is making the A2 Judgment Day assemblage, which is what it's called, and it simply means the second assembly of this this crap. Even more scary, at only 2,033 bottles. That's all that's going to be available. The A1, the Ace of Spades, the first assemblage, was limited to under 3,000 bottles. And this one as well is down, I'm not sure if I said that in the intro, but it's 2,333 bottles and $850 each. Now, if you compare this to the cost of these other wrapper-released beverages on the market, I want to give you just a little price comparison. For the cost of one bottle of Jay-Z's Armand de Brignac Assemblage 2, you could get 24 bottles of Snoop Dogg's Tanqueray No. 10 Laid Back Gin, 34 bottles of Diddy's Ciroc Vodka, 35 bottles of Ludacris Conjure Cognac, 40, and that's the perfect name, Conjure, because you conjure up all kinds of demons with these alcohols. And this is why they call it spirits, because that's what you bring out of some people. The minute they get drunk, here come those spirits. And some of them are friendly, but most of them are wicked. Even the friendly ones actually are wicked. They're just drawing you in. Okay, 42 bottles of 50s effing vodka. Oh, classy 50. And then 44 bottles of E40's Earl Stevens selection. So this is the comparison for what you, with one bottle of Jay's latest tonic, and what you could get from these other rappers' creations, or they actually are not even involved in the creation. They just they slap their name on it. They advertise it in songs, and they take pictures with the crap. And in some cases, I don't even think they drink it. Now, back in the day, the late great Biggie Smalls shared his fondness for Moet, which is of the legendary Moet and Chandon Champagne House, which is in Epernay, France. And he used to rap about it. He said, back in the club, sipping Moet is where you'll find me. And he repeated the sentiment in Juicy. He said, the Moet and the Alizé keep me running to the bathroom. And, and that's end quote. And Biggie, he wasn't lyrically monogamous either when it came to the champagnes, because he mentioned Cristal, made by Francis Louis Rodier, in multiple tracks. He mentioned it in You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You. Whew, how poetic. And Hustler's Story, among a few. Khalifa, moving up a little bit. He mentions, I'm sipping Clicquot and rocking yellow diamonds in Black and Yellow on his 2010 album Rolling Papers. And I would say, if your life goals include, and I'm going to quote him again, so many rocks up in my watch I can't tell what time it is. How stupid is that? And a pocket full of big faces, then the Vivo Clicquot might be a perfect fit for you. Now, it's not a secret that Jay dumped Cristal for Ace of Spades, which is the A1 and the A2 champagne that he's currently pushing. But I want to just point out before I go into why he did that, because it's not, everyone should know, but if you don't, I'm going to share with you why he dropped it. After he made them millions of dollars, mind you. What a lot of recording artists fail to realize is that, and the reason they fail to reach their full potential, is because they fail to realize what Jehovah realized back in the day, that the music business is just that, a business. I can't tell you, when I was working in the industry, how many times I had to tell artists who would show up late or have the audacity to not show up at all for press conferences or recording time or whatever, that this is your job, idiot. And if you don't treat it like one, guess what? You're going to get fired. This music thing, it's a business just like General Motors. But Jay realized that. And when he made that decision to stop messing with Cristal, it was partly due to the fact that he could make millions of dollars hyping this crappy $50 bottle of champagne that they put in a fancy bottle and charge exorbitant amounts of money for. Now, how could he do this? Because people, you lost tribe Negroes, are scared to think for yourselves. It's a classic case of monkey see, monkey do. People are influenced and taken advantage of by these artists. And these are the same people who rock really expensive and corny logo-based so-called luxury clothes that really aren't luxury, because most of them are made in China and they're very cheap. In China, you could see 90-year-old people walking around with Louis Vuitton on. They are the masters between the Chinese and the Africans, and we're guilty as hell. We're the kings and queens of bootlegging. But that's a whole nother story. Now, Jay, not only is he manipulating the system, he's manipulating the people who buy this crap. Ace of Spades tastes like crap. I went to an event and I happened to have a sip of it. The waiters were walking around and they were giving it to people. And I do have an occasional drink. And so I had a sip. And it was awful. So everybody should take a lesson that wants to sell wine that tastes awful, because it's probably one of the most brilliant ideas and marketing stories in the history of wine. And that includes Jay, a mogul who transformed this cheap wine into the next Cristal. And he received millions of dollars for doing it. Now, what goes along with Armand de Brignac is Jay-Z, the rapper. He put the flashy bottle on the map when he featured it in his 2006 music video, Show Me What You Got. The video is typical of mainstream hip hop with one possible exception. Towards the end, a waiter presents Jay-Z with a bottle of Cristal champagne, and Jay declines with a sweep of his hand, and in its place, he accepts a gold bottle of what was then unknown at the time, Armand de Brignac. Now, coming from someone who has been rapping Cristal's praises for years and once bragged that he was popping Cristal when y'all thought it was beer, this marked a major departure. But his sudden change in attitude, it wasn't without cause, because in June of 2006, a reporter from The Economist asked Frédéric Rosard, who was the manager of the Louis Roederer champagne house, which produced Cristal, what he thought of rappers drinking his champagne. And he said, and I quote, "That's a good question. But what can we do? We can't forbid people from buying it. I'm sure Dom Perignon or Krug would be delighted to have their business." Well, surprise, 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 Negroes. Once again, you've fallen for the okie doke. This is not the first time that one of these labels that you've been running after made it clear that they don't want our business. I remember in the 90s, people said it was a lie, but that was just media spin because it was proven that he said it. The owner of Timberland, he was asked, well, what do you think about your shoes being so popular in the inner city? It seemed like he got more sales from the hood than anywhere else. Did he not have the audacity to say, "I don't want to see people going to jail in my shoes"? Not only was that racist, because white people go to jail too, but it was just it was a slap in the face because those shoes weren't cheap. I had some Timberlands that were knee high. They were cute too, but I tossed them in the garbage. They were knee high boots for the females, and I love those. I would rock them, and everywhere I went, people would ask me, and you know what? When I heard what he said, I threw them away. And it was like taking $200 and throwing it out the window. But I didn't care because I'm not going to promote somebody who doesn't even want my business. Go directly to hell. Do not even pass go. But moving on, the math looks extremely favorable for Jay in this new venture. The product costs only $13 to make, and the wholesale price is $225. So at an $850 retail price, I would say Jay's making off like a bandit. Then you've got Beyonce, who, between the two of them, I don't know who brags more or who puts more in your face about their wealth and their this and that, what they got. That's like the major theme with these two. So in her latest video with Nicki Minaj, I can't recall off the top of my head what the name of it is, but she's pouring this crap in a bathtub. So they're showing you, well, we've got it to waste. Back in the day, we used to pour a little bit of liquor in the ground to remember our dead friends. And I would say, people, no, I'm not going to tell you to steal it, but I'm not going to tell you to buy it. But if you happen to get your hands on it, pour it in the ground, pour it in the ocean. People, this is turning, not to mention how many young people are becoming drunks, alcoholics. You're alcoholics in training. You're buying all this stuff so you can drink it, so you can sit there in the clubs. I know people who go in the club 10 deep, and they all chip in for one bottle of champagne, and they sip it till it's gone. And I even seen one crew tell the waitress to not take the bottle away because they needed it on the table as a prop so they could get girls. I mean, really though? There are better things to do with your money. It's absolutely ridiculous if you've got a regular job and you're only making maybe $300 to $500 a week, but you've got money to buy an $850 bottle of champagne to show off for one night in the club, and you can't feed your kids. or your rent's due. Doesn't make sense. And let's not even mention those who get alcohol poisoning from overdoing things. People, I just want to end this, you know, on a biblical note. And this is where I want to go with this. I want to go to Proverbs 14:20 because it pretty much covers what I want to say on this. The poor is hated even by his neighbor, but those who love the rich are many. When I had money, you guys may have seen my video why I chose God over money. When I had money, oh my goodness, I had more friends and family than you could imagine. I had family I didn't even know I had, and my friends were plenty. The truest denominator of how many friends you have is when you have nothing. If you have to put on all types of rich airs to make yourself appear as something you're not in order to get people to hang out with you, to like you, to want to be with you, male or female, this is not real. These are not your real friends. That chick that's sitting there drinking your champagne and she walks away when it's gone, she wasn't there with you for you. She was there to enjoy the champagne and to be seen. And we used to say back in the day, to see and be seen. There are people who, like yourself, want to be seen as well. And they want to see. They want to see. In most cases, they're looking for who's next. Who's got the next bottle. And when I used to go to clubs, I'd see it all the time. I used to buy my own champagne, and I even had girls coming over wanting to meet me because I had champagne. And you know what I would tell them? I'd be like, sis, you want a drink? Because I would rather you just get to the point. Don't come and pretend you're my new best friend. So I was like, sis, sit down, have a drink. Enjoy yourself. Now I don't do it because I'm a different person. God has showed me where the real riches are, and they're not in showing off. I had a subscriber, the saddest comment I ever saw in my life, I read earlier today from someone who said that God has made his life miserable and he was chasing the music industry and he just wanted to be famous and he wanted a wife and all this, and he thought that by being famous and having wealth that this was going to be his blessing. Brother, that's a curse. And I've been praying for him ever since because he's got the wrong idea about things. Trust and believe. What Jay is doing, it's wrong. And he's going to be like that rich person in hell who wanted just a drop of water. He asked Lazarus to please just give him a drop of water, because that's what he had been reduced to. He was burning in hell and just wanted to, just a drop, put some water on your finger and give it to me. And that's when he's going to remember how he deluded people into buying this $850 liquor. And you know something else, people? I want to tell you something else. I've been around a lot of people who were drunks. And you know why they call it wine and spirits? Because that's exactly what it is. When you drink and you get high, and there's a spirit that comes out of that bottle, and it gets into some people and it makes them crazy. I know some people, they're the nicest people in the world till they get drunk. Then they want to fight. That's all they want to do. I had an uncle like that. He could rest the dead. He'd get drunk and he want to cut somebody. He kept a knife on him for that purpose. Can you imagine? Oh, I need to pray. Lord, once again, I bring before you my brother Jay-Z. I hope that in this lifetime he will wake up and realize that there is a limit to what you need in life. And the brother needs to acknowledge that Hasn't he gained enough in this world? That cup runneth over a long time ago. This is not what life is about. Brother, get your mind back. Remember who you are. There are people, your own people, who are suffering, who could use a helping hand. You could be building. What about your people in Marcy? Lord, help them go back to the hood and help people to finance homes and to get out of the projects. And maybe even put some black-owned businesses in the hood and do some good with that money. Oh, Lord, I pray for all of those who just have made money their God, the poor who now see money as the solution to the problems they have in life. They don't see you, Lord. Help them to see you and to know that only through you will they truly, truly be rich. Lord, I thank you for the people who check in. I thank you for the subscribers. I hope the people will follow you, Lord. I don't want followers. I want them to follow you. I thank you for my assignment, Lord. I thank you for the strength to continue my assignment. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Yeshua HaMashiach.